you let your kids, start to make decisions for themselves and live with the ramifications of those decisions? Cassie came in here a couple of days ago and was talking about a decision that her 4-year-old wanted to make.
Yeah, she wanted to cut her hair super short. She has fine hair that gets tangled easily. It's easier to manage when it's short. And every time we've cut it a little bit shorter, she just likes it shorter and shorter. And my husband and I just weren't seeing eye to eye about whether or not to cut it short or not for different reasons. He thought maybe it would traumatize is a strong word, but freak her out if she saw it short, or maybe she wanted to be like some of her friends who have really short hair because it works for their hairstyles, either they're boys or they're like kids of color and they have like braids or cornrows and it just looks shorter, and she wants to be like her friends. And he was thinking, like, when she doesn't look like her friends, like she gets a haircut and doesn't look like them, is she going to be really upset? So he's trying to protect her.
So I think I'm a little bit more conservative in this area, and I'm like, at what point do you let your kids make their own decisions? And I think maybe it wasn't the same as you guys in here, but I said, look, if this was my kid at 4 years old, I think we would both talk to her and say exactly, lay out what the ramifications are. And if she wanted to do it, she would have to live with those. And the hair is going to grow back in a couple of months. So everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, I agree with you on that too. I think that teaching bodily autonomy and responsibility for your actions and your decisions too starts at a really young age, and this is a really safe way to teach that lesson.
Yeah, I think if I had a kid that was 4 and she wanted to cut her hair, and the fact that I would go back, I would let her. I wouldn't see it as a big deal.
I don't know. I'm still resentful that my parents let me chop 9 inches off my hair and go by the name Victoria for the 3 months following because I didn't look the same. That left a permanent mark on my psyche. So I don't know. Maybe approach with caution.
So why am I bringing this back up? Because I have a similar but different conversation going on in our house right now. So my son Hollis just turned 17 years old, and he has come to Stacy and I, and he said he would like to get a tattoo.
Ooh.
Ah.
He is 17 years old. Okay. The tattoo that he wants is out of the Bible, James 4:7, which means submit yourselves then to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. That's what he wants on his upper chest, right next to his shoulder. So he's 17 years old. So if you now this is permanent. I mean, you can, fade it, but then it's a lot of money and all that. But if he's going to make this decision, it's different than the Cassie situation here, because we know that her daughter's hair is going to grow back. This one's permanent, and he's 17 years old. So do you let him do it, or do you not let him do it?
There are 2 red flags for me, and one of them may be just difference in families and beliefs. So I know that I used to be very, very heavy into Christianity and going to church. And as I got older, I started to question it more, and I've sort of flip-flopped back and forth. And so back in the day, I could have gotten something like that now I would regret, because I would be like, that's not me anymore. But then it was a part of me, right? Back in the day. But aren't you supposed to test out a tattoo for a year before you get it if you're a brand new to tattooing and you're not sure?
I didn't.
I didn't.
Okay.
Let me address the first thing first.
Yeah.
And just in his situation, before we get back to the question of it, he goes to a Catholic school, has gone to a Catholic school since he was in pre-K. He is very dedicated to his faith. He goes to Mass every Sunday, and he voluntarily goes with his friends. So this is part of his fiber. This is who he is. I really don't see, in 4 years, him going, man, I had that whole God thing wrong. Absolutely not going to happen for him.
There's the perfect solution. Sorry, go ahead, Abby.
No, go for it.
So there is I actually just ordered some for myself because I am obsessed with tattoos, but I don't love anything enough to get it tatted on my body. So there is a place called Inkbox online that does semi-permanent tattoos.
I've seen this.
And they last for 2 weeks. They look real. I've gotten one before, and someone thought I got a tattoo. So I custom made a couple that are coming in, so he can custom make his own tattoo and apply it for a couple of weeks, and maybe do that several times to see if he really loves it. So once you get past the honeymoon phase of the tat, do you still love it that much? And then you can go get it on your 18th birthday.
That's good advice.
Well, before I give my opinion just about tattoos in general, I think you could have said the same thing about me. My mom never thought I would question my faith. And then here I am on Sunday going, I don't know if I believe anything. I was just like your son, the youth group leader, heavily ingrained in the church in the church life. But aside from that, like in terms of like what you decide to get, for me, I feel like anything that's going to be permanent, like if you're going to make an adult decision, you've got to have the adultness to back it up. So for me, if I was a parent, I would say, okay, well, if you want to do something like this, wait till you're 18 when you're an adult. You're going to pay for it, because I think that also puts down like a certain level of responsibility. Like for me, when I got my nose job, I'm like, I'm dealing with these repercussions, but I also feel like I've waited long enough to know that my frontal lobe is fully developed. I'm 25. I've thought about it long enough to where I know it's not just an impulsive decision, and it's my money on the line. So it's not just something that I'm going to get willy-nilly, because I actually have to have the resources to back it up.
Well, if you're going to wait for a dude's frontal lobe to be completely developed, he's get that tattoo when he's 42.
67. I got my first tattoo when I was 17, and I went to my mom, and she said absolutely not. And I was mad because all of the players on the basketball team had tattoos. I was the only guy who didn't. And so I thought of a way to get around it, and I found it by going to my mom and say, what if I get a tattoo that has your name in it? And she was like, oh, I could get behind that.
That's smart.
And then that's how I got my first tattoo.
That's smart.
Iconic.
Kaylee used to be a tattoo artist.
No, I used to pierce testicles for a living.
That's
But no, I did work at a tattoo shop for 8 years. And Bert, I think you're off the hook here, because I think, what did you say, James 14, or is that what?
It's James 4:7.
Okay, well, Georgia Code Title 16, Crimes and Offenses Towards Children, Chapter 5, he's not allowed to get a tattoo.
In Georgia.
Not with parent consent or anything.
Right.
Really?
So he's got to be 18.
Yep.
There's no way around it. Unless you find some shop willing to do it shady, but I wouldn't. Yeah, you're not going to even be able to sign for it. So you're off the hook.
Hey, Cindy, good morning. You're on the Bert Show.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I got a tattoo my senior year of high school. It was right after my 18th birthday, and it was also religious. And at the time, my parents told me, like, absolutely not. Like, we will not have that. So I kind of did it behind their backs. But now I'm 26, and it's the only tattoo I have, and I have no regrets about it. So if he's serious about it, then I think that he should get it.
Appreciate the advice. Thank you. So this conversation is retrospective because when he turned 17, we sat down with him, my ex-wife and I, and we knew about the Georgia law. So we said, look, you're 17 years old now. You know what's up, man. Even though it might not be fully developed, your frontal lobe, you know what you're doing here. And it's very hard to say no to a passage out of the Bible. So if this is something you really want to do, then go ahead and do it. So on his 17th birthday, Stacy drove him to Alabama, and he got his tattoo.
Oh my God. Nice.
He got it done, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did he love it?
He loves it.
Aw.
He absolutely loves it. So he's living with the decision, but he absolutely is happy, at least now, that he's done it.
Well, let me know when he's 27, he's having a crisis of faith and crying in small group, how he feels about the tattoo.
Okay, will do.
The Bert Show.